There's a big difference when you go missing from a place like this with the population of 2,500 in all versus, disappearing in the heart of LA or in Manhattan where anybody could have grabbed you. But the likelihood that a stranger showed up and took Echo, that's a very low probability, Tim Miller.
Well, I think you're right. And I actually met with two detectives with Missouri State Police, and we spent several hours together. They gave me a lot of maps, a lot of information, and they've got an area of real interest in the case. And we're going to go up there and look this area over. And then, right when vegetation starts growing, we're going to go up there and do the search. But I think we've got some pretty good information. It's been a while since he's been missing, and we always say when we go into this, no matter what resource we bring, there's a small chance that we're going to get him located. But if we don't do anything, there's no chance. But Nancy, I'm pretty optimistic that she is findable with the information that we've got.
Tim Miller, who was just in this jurisdiction in Missouri, Edwards, Missouri, or Warsaw, to be more specific. Tim Miller, when you say an area of interest and you're headed back to continue the search in depth, can you share with us the area of interest at which you will be searching?
Well, this area it's about 1,200 acres. I think we've got it maybe narrowed down to maybe 200 acres. And I don't want to put too much stuff out there to make a possible person of interest know what's going to be happening.
So you have an area of interest. I wasn't expecting you to say it was 200 square acres. That's a very vast area of interest. How will you search that? I assume with drones, with dogs, with horses, with ATVs. How would you go about searching a 200-acre area of interest?
Well, you know what? Everything that you just mentioned, but you know what? Our drone pilot, which he's a big educator in it and stuff, and developed so much software that it's unbelievable. And literally, Nancy, we found a person that was murdered and buried 8 years later because when we flew the drone, right when vegetation started growing, there was a different area, different little color of different vegetation and everything, and literally dug that body up. We feel as though Echo Lloyd very possibly is buried in a shallow grave. And so, you know what? Yes, we're going to bring in the ATVs, the horses, the ground searchers, the dogs, the drone, and everything that we can possibly bring in on this. And again, meeting with the two detectives from the Missouri State Police, and we spent several hours with them. The maps they gave us, the information they gave us. Of course, it's going to be a joint venture between us and Missouri State Police. And again, I've said this 100 times, no matter what we bring in, there's a small chance that we're going to get them located. But if we don't do anything, there's no chance. So, we're going to leave from Texas, go to Missouri, and take that small chance. And you know what, Nancy, we did one 7-8 months ago on Kimberly Langwell in Beaumont. And I remember the first time I searched for her in 2001, and we got called 25 years later. In 4 minutes, we found her with ground penetration units. So, you know what? We bring in every resource that we can bring in. And I always say we leave the results up to God. And you know what? God has certainly put us in the right place, the right time, many times. So we're just going to ask him again.
Tim Miller, what you said about your drone operator being so great, you're right. Because if your drone operator could see, I'm guessing, a more vibrant and intense shade of green in the vegetation in one area, which would signify newer growth, which would signify disturbed earth, and then new growth. He spotted that, and sure enough, that is where the victim was. That's amazing. And Tim Miller will never, ever brag on himself. Tim Miller is a crime victim. His daughter was murdered. She went missing and was murdered. He made it his life's mission to help find missing people. That's who Tim Miller of EquuSearch is. Now, the reason we keep talking about Echo Lloyd's home and the last time she was seen at this discount store, why? Why do we care so much? Because we're trying to establish a timeline, which is critical